Good day everyone. How are you all? Feeling very happy to meet you again in person. Yes, really I feel happy. And the last video session we had discussed about articles and determiners. Have you gone through it? Just take notes of it and that will help you a lot for your writing. Okay, so whenever you start writing in your exams or you want to present a creative writing, so wherever you want to write, that determiners and articles will help you. So take notes, never ever forget that. Okay my dear children. Okay my dear children, today I have brought a beautiful story from our supplementary reader lesson 2, Bringing Up Kari, which is written by Dan Gopal Mukherjee. Now, shall we start reading it? Take your supplementary reader. It's our lesson 2. Bringing up Kari. Bringing up Kari. Kari, a 5-month-old baby elephant, lives and grows up with his 9-year-old friend and keeper. Kari does not eat much, just about 16 kilograms of delicious twigs a day. Playful and sensitive, Kari saves a boy from drowning. See, Kari, the elephant, was 5 months old when he was given to me to take care of. I was 9 years old and I could reach his back if I stood on tiptoe. So, who is I here? I here is our narrator. I here is the narrator. He seemed to remain that high for nearly 2 years. He grew together. We grew together. That is probably why I never found out just how tall he was. He lived in a pavilion. See how their pavilion is, under a thatched roof which rested on thick tree stumps so that he could not fall in when Kari bumped against the poles as he moved about. Such a strong pavilion they made with thick tree stumps. Okay, one of the first things Kari did was to save the life of a boy. Kari did not eat much, but he nevertheless needed 40 pounds of twigs a day to chew and play with. Every day I used to take him to the river in the morning for his bath. He would lie down on the sand bank while I rubbed him with the clean sand of the river for an hour. After that, he would lie in the water for a long time. On coming out, his skin would be shining like ebony, and he would squeal with pleasure as I rubbed water down his back. Then I would take him by the ear, because this was the easiest way to lead an elephant, and leave him on the edge of the jungle while I went into the forest to get some luscious twigs for his dinner. One has to have a very sharp hatchet to cut down these twigs. It takes half an hour to sharpen the hatchet, because if a twig is much later, an elephant will not touch it. It was not an easy job to get twigs and saplings for Kari. I had to climb all kinds of trees to get most delicate and tender twigs. As he was very fond of the young branches of the banyan tree, which grows like a cathedral of leaves and branches, I was gathering some one spring day in March, when I suddenly heard Kari calling to me in the distance. As he was still very young, the call was more like that of a baby than an elephant. I thought somebody was hurting him. So I came down from my tree and ran very fast to the edge of the forest where I had left him. But he was not there. I looked all over, but I couldn't find him. I went near the edge of the water and I saw a black something struggling above its surface. Then it rose higher, and it was the trunk of my elephant. I thought he was drowning. I was helpless because I couldn't jump into the water and save the 400 pounds of him since he was much higher than I. But I saw his back rise above the water, and the moment he caught my eye, he began to trumpet and struggle up the shore. Then, still trumpeting, he pushed me into the water. And as I fell into the stream, I saw a boy lying flat on the bottom of the river. He had not altogether touched the bottom, but was somewhat afloat. I came to the surface of the water to take my breath, and there Kari was standing, his feet planted on the sandbank, and his trunk stretched out like a hand waiting for mine. I dived down again and pulled the body of the drowning boy to the surface, but not being a good swimmer, I couldn't swim ashore, and the slow current was already dragging me down. Seeing us drift by in the current, Kari, who was usually slow and ponderous, suddenly darted down like a hawk and came halfway into the water, where I saw him stretched out his trunk again. I raised my hand to catch it. I slipped. I found myself going under the water again. But this time I found that the water was not very deep, so I sank to the bottom of the river and doubled my feet under me, and then suddenly kicked the river bed and so shot upwards like an arrow, in spite of the fact that I was holding the drowning boy with my hand. As my body rose above the water, I felt a lasso around my neck. This frightened me. I thought some water animal was going to swallow me. I heard Kari squealing, and I knew it was his trunk about my neck. He pulled us both ashore. Kari becomes fond in ripe bananas. He believes in self-help, much to the discomfort of his friend. With quiet dignity, Kari accepts the cheating he knows he deserves. Kari was like a boy. He had to be trained to be good, and if you did not tell him when he was naughty, he was up to more mischievous than ever. For instance, one day somebody gave him some bananas to eat. Very soon he developed a great love for ripe bananas. We used to keep large plates of fruit on a table near a window in the dining room, and my family blamed. One day all the bananas on that table disappeared, and my family blamed the servant for eating all the fruits in the house. A few days later, the fruit disappeared again. This time the blame was put on me, and I knew I hadn't done it. It made me very angry with my parents and the servants, for I was sure they had taken all the fruit. The next time the fruit disappeared, I found the banana all smashed up in Kari's pavilion. This surprised me very much, for I had never seen fruit there, and as you know, he had always lived on twigs. Next day, while I was sitting in the dining room, wondering whether I should take some fruit from the table or without my parents' permission, a long black thing very much like snake suddenly came through the window and disappeared with all the bananas. I was very much frightened because I had never seen snakes eat bananas, and I thought it must be a terrible snake that would sneak in and take fruit. I crept out of the room and with a great fear in my heart ran out of the house, feeling sure that the snake would come back into the house, eat all the fruit and kill all of us. As I went out, I saw Kari's back disappearing in the direction of the pavilion. I was so frightened that I wanted his company to to cheer me up. I ran after him into the pavilion and I found him there eating bananas. I stood still in astonishment. The bananas were lying strewn all around him. He stretched out his trunk and reached for one far away from where he was standing. That instant, the trunk looked like a black snake, and I realized that Kari was the thief. I went to him, pulled him out by the ear, and joyously showed my parents that it was Kari and not I that had eaten all the fruit these many weeks. Then I scolded him for elephants understand words as well as children. I said to him, next time I see you stealing fruit, you will be whipped. He knew that we were all angry with him, even the servants. His pride was so injured that he never stole another thing from the dining room. And from then on, if anybody gave him any fruit, he always squealed as if to thank them. An elephant is willing to be punished for having done wrong. But if you punish him without any mistake, any reason, he will remember it and pay you back in your own coin. Okay. Like Kari is a fast learner. He masters all signals and sounds he is taught. There is one lesson, though, that an elephant takes 5 years to learn. Kari is no exception. An elephant must be taught when to sit down, when to walk, when to go fast, and when to go slow. You teach him these things as you teach a child. If you say that and pull him by the ear, he will gradually learn to sit. Similarly, if you say Mali and pull his trunk forward, he will gradually learn that is the signal to walk. Kari learned Mali after 3 lessons, but it took him 3 weeks to learn that. He was no good at sitting down. And do you know why an elephant should be taught to sit down? Because he grows taller and taller than you who grow. Because he grows taller and taller than you who take care of him. So that when he is 2 or 3 years old, you can only reach his back with a ladder. It is therefore better to teach him to sit down by saying that, so that you can climb upon his back, for who would want to carry a ladder around all the time? The most difficult thing to teach an elephant is the master call. He generally takes 5 years to learn it properly. The master call is a strange hissing, howling sound as if a snake and a tiger were fighting each other. And you have to make that kind of noise in his ear. And do you know what you expect an elephant to do when you give him the master call? If you are lost in the jungle, and there is no way out and everything is black except the stars above, you dare not to stay very long anywhere. The only thing to do then is to give the master call. And at once the elephant pulls down the tree in front of him with his trunk. This frightens all the animals away. As the tree comes crashing down, the monkeys wake from their sleep and ran from branch to branch. You can see them in the moonlight, and you can almost see the stags running in all directions below. You can hear the growl of the tiger in the distance. Even he is frightened. Then the elephant pulls down the next tree and the next and the next. Soon you will find that he was made a road right through the jungle straight to your house. Okay? So your today's work is this one. Yeah, page number 14. Your exercise is given. Answer the following question. You have to answer the marked questions 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Answer these 5 questions, my dear children. If you read the lesson bringing up Kari carefully, you will find the answers, the correct answer for these questions. Okay, write these answers in your homework note and I am expecting for your response. Okay, my dear children. This is because you have to read. Only reading will help you to understand the words which are all in this. But by reading once, you can't understand. So reading twice, you can understand the story well. Okay, my dear children. So read. That will help you and read loud. Read and read loudly. That will help you a lot in the language skill improvement. Okay, my dear children. Some of you hasn't sent articles and determiners, book exercise and your worksheet yet. Okay, so soon that too I need. Okay, send it because written work I can't help you. Right after our school reopens, I can teach and revise these things again, but I can't write for you. Right, you have to write it. Okay, so better write it, my dear children, on time. You should have writing practice. You should have writing practice. Okay, my dear children. Till the next video, it's bye from me. Bye bye.